first person to realize that nerves work with electricity was the Italian scientist Luigi Galvani, who discovered more than 200 years ago that the muscles of frogs that he had dissected could be made to twitch when their nerves were hit by an electric spark. Nowadays we are much more concerned about animal welfare, so I won't reenact Galvani's experiments for you here, cut open a frog and zap it with electricity. However, the general public often forget that people are animals too. So I've come here to St. Peter's College in Oxford to recruit some students and friends of mine as frog substitutes. I've brought a high voltage electrical stimulator with me to galvanize them with. It should be fun. I hope that no students will be hurt in the course of these experiments. At least not much. Fingers crossed. The idea of the experiment is the following. Okay, what you've got here in front of you is showing a hand. Okay. All right, in that hand there are nerves. Okay. There's the ulnar nerve. Have you ever sort of bashed your door and your nerve on the elbow on it, and it feels funny? Bone, yeah. That's the funny bone. The funny bone is funny because the ulnar nerve runs through your elbow and then sort of runs deep sort of under the skin and comes superficial again here, right there, okay? And if you give a mild, okay, and I stress mild, electroshock to the ulnar nerve, you'll get the hand to twitch. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So. Sure. Let's do it. So we're really trying to sort of show something that's been known really for over 200 years, which is that nerves are electric. Now, originally, I don't need to sign something before I do this. Probably should make you sign something, but I just hope that I just hope that you realise that I'm so poor that there's no point suing me. So the thing is, okay, so I'm going to make the current initially quite low, all right? Okay, this is sort of low is good, all right? So the thing is, I push trigger here and then it'll basically give you a, just put your arm here nice and relaxed. Now none of this should hurt, all right? Trust me, I'm a scientist with an electrode. Oh boy. Wow. All right, if if it's, so if I put the electrode right there and then push this button here, do you feel something? Do you see that your hand's touching a little bit? Do. All right. Okay, every time it goes bip, we've got an electric shock. Okay. All right. Like a pulse. Okay, your hands are pulsing, isn't it? Yeah. You can turn it up a bit. Okay, now try not to pulse it. Go on, stop pulsing it. Ah, yeah, if I hit that. It's hard to resist it, isn't it? Okay, if you relax. So what's going on here is you've got the ulnar nerve actually, which runs from your funny bone to your wrist, controls your pinky finger. Okay. You've got another nerve here, the median nerve, which runs just between these two sinews here. Okay. So if I just push the electrode on here, we're gonna get your thumb pulsing. Yeah. This feels really weird. So I've poked around with this a little bit yesterday, as one does, I mean, if you've got nothing better to do, with life as an academic, you just strap yourself on. Okay. So the pins and needles, because the thing about pins and needles is really you've got all your arms sort of kind of coming back to life, and they all fire off at the same time, so you get this tingling sensation. Here goes the pinky, bing, 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 bing. I'm controlling your pinky. Your pinky is possessed. I've invited my friend here, Simon Howard, who's not a scientist himself, he's an artist, because I thought if we have an artist experimenting on a scientist, then that should be within the sort of acceptable standards of modern day. An electrical stimulator, okay? This is actually a device that is designed to deliver in a manner that is hopefully safe electric shocks to human beings. Electric shocks generally have a very bad press. People think, electric shocks are things that, are terribly dangerous. We use it to electrocute people and so on. Of course, the thing about electric shocks is that they have one very redeeming quality, which is that they are infinitely adjustable. You can make electric shocks very gentle, which is what you do with these buttons here. All right. So we've got one button here to apply, to adjust the voltage. It says here, if you're not sure, you probably won't be able to see this, but it says sort of 100 volts, 200 volts, 300 volts, 400 volts. So I'm now going to get my friend and colleague Simon to wire me up.
Now, of course, you can play this game not just on muscle, on the nerves of the hand. I mean, you can also see whether you can try and activate some of the nerves that run in our face. For example, there's the facial nerve, one of the major cranial nerves, comes out from just underneath our ear, and then there's a little branch that runs towards the back of the head, and there is another branch that runs down, for example, here towards the chin. And if we manage to catch it sort of roughly there, then we ought to be able to get my face to twitch. Go down a little bit, sort of see. Not sure you can see this. I may need a little bit more current here. Let me just see that I get the right button. Okay. Now what you probably can see is that on every cycle of the stimulator giving me a pulse, I get a facial twitch, because the branch of the facial nerve tells the muscles in my cheek to contract. Normally this nerve, of course, is activated by my brain, and if my brain wants to continue its contraction with these muscles, it will just send a very rapid train of pulses. Conscious control, I mean, if you try and aim for example, here one of these posterior branches of the cranial nerve, not too much juice at first. So if we could just roughly there, we might be able to get my scalp to twitch in a way in which I wouldn't be able to move it consciously. Okay, this is pretty much all I wanted to. But anyway, that was all I wanted to show you. It just remains for me to say that no scientists were hurt in the making of this movie, at least not one.